Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for whatever time you're viewing this video. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, Roses. So today, as you can see by the title of this video, this is a diary series. And today, I'm going to be talking about some things that I struggled with in the past when it comes to my confidence, how I overcame that, and even being honest and real and letting you know some things that I still currently struggle with. So I know I mentioned in another video that I struggled with believing that I was beautiful, just really my outward appearance in general. And I know where that stems from. I used to always hang out with my older cousin, so there was always a lot of comparison between us two. And she was light skinned, red bone, whatever you want to call her. So of course guys were attracted to her. And I just internalized that, not realizing that it doesn't matter how much male attention that you get or you don't get, that has nothing to do with your appearance. And you shouldn't take that into account when it comes to your self-esteem. But I didn't realize this until years later, and I was in college, and I began to get into the Word, and I just strengthened that area with the Word. I also had to look in the mirror and just tell myself I'm beautiful. And I also, if you looked at my phone, there's lots of pictures of me, and it's not because I'm conceited or anything like that, but I was just getting used to looking at myself and just appreciating how I looked on a regular basis, or just how I put something together, just appreciating that. And that is one way that I helped build up my self-esteem. The verse that I always reference in my head when I was just trying to build that area was Psalms 139 verse 14, where it talks about, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So when I would have doubt, I would just repeat that verse in my mind, and it would really help me feel better about my looks. So another thing that I currently struggle with, and I'm just letting the Lord just have his way in this area, is just me being capable, and also just me being good at something. The same thing still applies. Like, people can compliment me all the time and say that I'm able, like, you're really good I'm a caseworker, so you're really good as a caseworker. Like, you do this well, X, Y, and Z. And I may say, okay, but I don't believe that person. And I don't know, I don't know why I don't believe people when they compliment me. I don't know, that's just how I've always been. But it just really comes internally first for me. Like, I have to believe it. And then when people compliment me, then I can say, yeah, I agree with you. You're right. And just really, agree with them. So things that I've been doing now to help in this area has really just been to depend on God. A lot where I am right now in life, I know that God is with me. He's with me in my position as a caseworker. He's with me as I'm trying to figure out my passion and my purpose. So I just depend on him. I go to him when I do feel insecure, or when I'm having a struggle with believing that I can even be in a certain position. For instance, I, for some reason, don't know why, I can't get away from this feeling of wanting to sing, or just practicing music. Like, I love music, but when I hear myself sing, I feel like I can sing. I feel like I can hold a tune, whatever, not just toot my own horn or whatever. But I don't have as much confidence to say, this is good, this sounds good, okay, let's do something with it. So when it comes to that, even when I practice singing, I go to God first. I say, Lord, give me the ability, give me just the strength in my lungs to carry out the vocals. And so I'm just dependent on him, solely dependent on him for the things that I think that he's led me to do, because without him, I know that I can't do it. So I also just work on my posture, especially when it comes to when I'm singing, so I can feel more confident, or if I feel like I'm going into a meeting or I'm about to speak to important people, just working on my posture is helping me when it comes to being confident. I also just rely on his word in this area as well, just knowing that I can do all things through Christ. That's Philippians 4 verse 13. And just keeping that in my pocket, so whenever I need it, I can utilize that verse and I can keep going and just be strengthened in that area. So I mentioned God a lot, and he truly is someone that I had to learn to trust and depend on. That's who my confidence come from, because without him, I know that I can't do these things. Even when it comes to me being confident in my next relationship and having the ability to just withstand from having sex or lusting after that person, I know that comes from God. And I read in 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13, I believe. I'll reference all the scriptures that I'm using in the description box. But I read it and it was very clear to me that I will be able to withstand temptation, but I can only do that with God. When he provides the way to escape the temptation, then that's when I must exit and follow his lead. So without that, I won't be able to bear the temptation. And I hope that makes sense. If not, I'll do another video to make it a little bit clearer. But everything that I am going forth, every vision that he has given me, my passions, all that, the only way that I know that I can move forward and do it is just a total dependence on God. And truly, if you're someone who struggles with being confident, it has to go back to God, because he gives us our identity. He is the one who created us, and he calls us a human, a male, someone that is fearfully and wonderfully made. Like everything that we can know about ourselves, we have to go to the creator. We can't go to someone else, not even our parents, because if they don't know the word, then they don't know who created us. They're not in tune with that person, and they can't help us in that area. A lot of times when our parents, they say something negative or they don't believe in us, that can internally affect us for years, and we don't even realize it. So that's why we have to go to our creator and go to his word, depend on him, trust him. I will say this: we do have an enemy. The enemy is very present, and he is using fear for a lot of people in order to keep them. If you do not believe in yourself, if you do not have the capability, if you're scared to go out on that stage, you're scared to go on that interview, you're scared to go forth on the things that you know that God has called you to, then you're allowing the enemy to keep you stuck in one position, one place, and you're not going forth and letting God's glory shine. So you have to remember, if you're being fearful, you're playing right into the enemy's hand. You're giving him right exactly what he wants to keep God's people still and not moving. So I just want to put this video out to encourage you and let you know that someone's out here. I struggle with feeling confident. I struggle with believing what God says that I can do. His word says that we are more than conquerors, like more than, not just a conqueror, but more than. And I just have to take his word, apply it to my life, keep it in my mind, and just help me move forward accordingly. So I hope to have a lot of good things coming forth to tell you guys about, and to just really be a testimony to believing God's word and having that confidence in who he is and what he can do. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the description box. If there's anything that you want me to talk about and just be real and honest about, leave that in the description box as well. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.